So, good afternoon. We are visiting with Diane Zevanove today. And is that right?
Zevanove.
Zevanove. I always want to put that Zevanove today.
Zevanove.
And she is a Orloff, was your maiden name.
No, Elliot.
Elliot was your maiden name, but you are related to the Orloffs as well.
Well,
Yes.
my Orloff was my grandfather.
Okay. So we're going to get some history about Diane growing up in Pleasanton, and her families, which are the Elliots and the Orloffs, were very important to Pleasanton history. And my name is Rebecca Bruner, and I'm on the museum board and have been for years, and we will proceed. So Diane, tell us, about growing up in Pleasanton. What year were you born, if you don't mind me asking?
Oh, I was born February 10th, 1935.
Okay.
I'm 88.
Okay.
Okay.
And so tell me about life in Pleasanton and your families.
Oh my goodness, where do you begin? Well, first of all, I was born in Livermore at St. Paul's Hospital.
Okay.
And I was a preemie. So my father had to make a, what do you call it, honey, Lou? The
Incubator.
Incubator for me. He made it.
Oh.
My dad, Sam Elliott.
Because they didn't have them at the hospital?
They didn't have
Well,
it.
there wasn't a hospital in Pleasanton, by the way.
Correct.
That's the only reason she
There wasn't a hospital in Pleasanton at the time. Everybody was, yes.
The other babies were getting sores or, rashes. And the
Oh.
mothers were complaining. And I was only 5 pounds. My dad made it.
Okay.
I was okay after that.
Good.
And so were they, I guess.
Okay. Do we know what was wrong with the babies that they were getting these
It was too hot.
in
It
the
was
hospital?
too hot. They had the heater because I was so small.
Oh, I see. Okay. So then they just
No
put
problem.
it on you. Yeah.
No.
Okay.
No, the babies were fine.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so then I came to Pleasanton.
And how many siblings do you have?
Siblings, none.
You're the only child.
I'm the only child.
Okay. And that was kind of common at that time, from many other people that I've talked to.
Yeah.
But partly because of the Depression and the wars and things. Do you think that people were maybe reluctant to
I
have
don't
more
know.
children?
I really don't know.
Okay.
It could be any reason,
Okay.
And my father was born and raised here. He lived here all his life.
And what did he do?
My father was, what would you call him, honey?
Electrical contractor.
Electrical contractor. But when he was a young man, he was kind of electrician things and everything. And he went up can I say it, honey?
He climbed poles and he was, and he got shocked and
Yeah.
they had to remove his leg.
Yeah,
Oh, wow.
yeah.
So he got shocked and they had to remove his leg from the
But it
injury.
didn't slow him down.
And he was young.
Oh.
He was young. And,
But he got a fake leg. Did he get a fake leg then?
Correct.
he got one of those
Okay.
artificial
Yeah.
legs. And he could do anything.
Oh,
He had businesses here in town. He had business.
like what? What was his business?
Well, he had
He specialized in field lighting for universities.
Oh, okay.
Lou's good, and he had a business too, and on my father's side, they came over on a boat what boat, I don't know. And
From what country?
I don't know. I don't. Probably England.
Okay.
And
Do you know what brought them to Pleasanton?
why they ended up in Pleasanton, I don't know.
What did
But
they?
the name was not Jurgensen. I know the name.
Jorgensen?
No, not Jurgensen. I know.
No, okay.
It'll come to me.
Okay.
My mind isn't as good as it used to be.
Well, what did your dad's parents do here?
My grandfather, or my great-grandfather, they built buggies.
Oh,
And one of the buggies is in the Masonic, in the museum in where is the museum, honey?
in
The big museum.
in Oakland,
No,
in San Francisco.
the big one in Washington.
Oh, at the Smithsonian.
Yeah,
Really?
yeah, Smithsonian.
Okay, so there's a in the Smithsonian. There's a buggy that was built by the Elliots here in Pleasanton.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
By that, or the I don't know, it was Elliott's or their, it wasn't Jensen's. Oh, I've got a lot of Jensens and Jurgensens and anyway, my great grandfather. In fact, I have plates that are very old and very beautiful.
Plates?
Plates.
Yeah.
And
That you got from the Elliots?
Yeah.
Okay.
And they were brought over. The only thing that's missing is the cups. The cups were broken, but I have tremendous, and I'm going to give them. Marky is going to take care of all the archives.
Okay.
And no doubt will go to the museum.
Oh, lovely. That's, yeah.
I can't promise you what he'll do.
No.
But I'm sure that that's where they'll end up unless some of our grandchildren want them. Yeah,
But they
we
can't.
don't use them. The only thing we ever used was the big tureen, huge tureen, and I wish he'd brought it. I thought it was my button. The big tureen that I have at the other house, at our house on Mirador Court.
Okay.
We
So
have,
you still have a house?
hmm We sure do, don't we, Daddy?
Just came from there.
Yeah.
We designed it and built it 61 years ago.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So,
And my family home is on 2nd Street,
yes, you said near the church.
near the church,
Ah.
where my mom and dad were married and where Lou and I were married.
So close to school. You didn't have far to walk to school.
Oh, no, I walked to elementary school up over the little hill.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because the elementary school at that time was the old buildings that were used
Yeah.
for the school district.
At the end of the street.
No, yeah,
At the end of the street.
at the end of the street, but it's the big school.
Yeah.
And let's see, I don't know if you didn't know the Leaches on that street, did you?
No.
Okay. Hewitsons.
Yes.
Okay. Hewitsons lived near us.
Okay.
In fact, he lived down the street from us, and then he built a home right next to our family home.
Okay.
And our home is right there where right kind of where that little street is. There.
Yes, yeah, where that little, just that,
Yeah,
that one block street,
yeah,
yeah.
but it's on the Second Street side,
Okay,
facing it. And let's see what else.
so what was it like growing up in Pleasanton?
Wonderful, absolutely wonderful. And after Lou and I met, and married, we moved to San Jose. He had a job with NASA.
NASA, yeah.
And we moved there, and then he got a job with Texas Instrument as a sales engineer, and gave us an opportunity to move back to Pleasanton.
Oh,
Fortunately, I had a husband that was willing to move to Pleasanton because he was from Castro Valley, and he used to, as a young man, boy or young man,
yes.
worked for Standard there while he was going to high school in Castro Valley, and he had to come into Pleasanton to put the money from the gas station
Oh,
into the
Into the
bank.
okay.
And he went down Valley Avenue and that. He always liked Pleasanton.
So you got him to move to Pleasanton instead of Castro Valley. Yes.
I wasn't going to go to Castro Valley. No way. No way.
And you two met at San Jose State,
Yes.
right?
We met in a dance class. I took it as a freshman because you had to take it for PE. You know, you
Yeah.
had to have certain credits. And I wasn't really good at a lot of baseball and basketball, and not like your son, and things like that. I wasn't that good in sports. And I loved to dance, so I took a beginning dance class,
Why
which I knew
not?
how to do.
Yeah, that sounds like fun.
And
then you met somebody. Yeah.
And he took the dance class which turned out to be my friend took the class with his friend. They were boy
Okay.
and girlfriend.
Okay.
So we met together
Mm.
when you know how you dance
Yeah.
and you come together. And what did he say to me?
Your friend told you Lou really likes you, and my friend told me Diane really likes you. And so they were trying to Velcro us together, and I think we both thought, well, okay, then we'll be nice to them. And then we ended up getting married.
Did they end up getting married?
No.
Isn't that funny?
No.
Yeah.
But his first comment to me was, and how's that pleasant little girl from Pleasanton?
Oh.
That was so cool.
Well, wasn't that it? Wasn't that it? And then not only that, he asked me if he could take me home that night, drive me home, because I only lived a short distance from the house, from the campus, and and I said, "Oh no, thank you very much, but I have a ride home." And he says, "Oh, I was just going to tell you how to catch the bus." Oh, he's lucky he got that
Yes.
date.
Yes. He is lucky. Yes. Oh.
But as far as being young here in Pleasanton, of course, I love Pleasanton. There's no place I
Would rather be.
would rather be.
Okay.
And when I was younger, I was active as a young girl. I went to the grammar school here, and of course the high school, and I was active in 4-H. My group was called, we were the Sewing Sisters. Her, Mrs. Coes was her name. Daughter was in it with me. And when we got to be seniors, Mrs. Coes had bought, she had a new car, and Betty had just gotten her driver's license. So she came and picked up some of us girls, and here as seniors, we drove out this car with our drindle skirts and our white buttons. We thought we were real something.
Of course, of course. Yeah.
But I've been active in various groups here. I said I was in 4-H, and I was a Rainbow Girl.
Okay.
Yeah, and I don't know, I used to participate in different other things that were going on.
Okay.
Eastern Star.
What?
Eastern Star. You were the head
Oh,
of
yeah, I was Eastern Star too.
Yeah. As an adult, you were at Eastern Star, and you were.
Yeah.
Okay.
I still am. And I just, well, it's hard. See, I grew up when the town was relatively small,
Right.
and you could walk down the street, and everybody knows your name,
Yeah.
that kind of thing.
Or
I'm
knew
sure
your parents, and so
Knew
yeah.
my parents, knew everything. My dad belonged to a small group of men. They were, boyhood friends.
Yeah.
I'm sure you know about. And they had a little group, and they would do things for the town. and
Like
stuff.
what did they do?
There was
Well,
a trailer group.
Huh?
Trailers. They had trailers.
Well,
There
no,
was
that's
another
not
group.
that's not the thing I was going to.
That doesn't matter. It was a trailer
They-
group. He was very active in.
Well, he belonged to a trailer group. That was a Livermore Pleasanton.
And that was kind of a traveling trailer. Okay.
Yeah, but that was later on
Yeah.
in life.
Yeah.
Well, when he was younger man, he because he was doing he could do electrical work. They had the Fiesta.
Yes.
Remember the Fiesta?
Now
Well-
wasn't that more of a Portuguese festival,
Oh, wasn't that the
or was it?
I can't remember. It was one of the festivals, whatever it was, and I was trying to think what street, where it used to be Boo Hall's,
Feed.
Feed and Grain.
No, I didn't grow up in Pleasanton.
No,
So,
but how long have you lived here?
30 years.
Well, the Feed and Grain on Main and Main and
He put the Pleasanton sign up. It says Pleasanton.
Yes.
He did that.
Okay. Oh, your dad did that.
Yes.
Oh, wonderful.
well, he did the electrical work.
Yeah.
They do talk about the Women's Improvement
That did
paid
built
for
the
it.
museum.
And my dad
Yeah.
did the electrical work.
Okay.
And
We still have the buttons inside the museum to turn on the sign and the horn.
Mm.
So we like to do that every once in a while just to
Do
see
you?
what people do downtown. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I know that they just changed the electricity. They needed new lights or something, right?
Right.
Yeah. So that's been a long time
Yeah.
that those lights stayed good.
Right.
But whenever my dad used to go under we used to drive under him, he said, I put them up.
Oh,
He was
okay.
very proud of that.
Okay.
Yeah. And that was he belonged to a little group called the AKC, and they were local businessmen, friends.
And what did AKC mean?
I'm not going to tell you. I
It's
can't.
a sig-
I can't tell you.
Okay.
Its other name, its subname was Mischiefs. Mystic
Oh, okay. So, but they did good things for Pleasanton.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Like what?
it was a
They had
a
fun
little
working
secret
together. Yeah.
group of the men, like Eastern Star.
Okay.
It's
Who else was in the group?
Amaral Jurgensen's, I think. I'm trying to think. People you knew.
John
You-
Emerald, the
Amaral,
realtor.
I think.
Okay.
Amaral was in there. I can't think of who else. But my son was here yesterday. We were talking about it, and that's my over there is
Oh.
a
Uh-huh.
lifestyle. My folks' 50th wedding anniversary.
Oh wow.
I think it is. And he said, well, what is AKC? What's AKC stand for?
Wasn't your mother first
And-
graduating class at
And
Ecuador?
I said, I'm not going to tell you.
Okay.
I said, my father didn't tell me until he was almost passed away, because it
Oh.
was secret society. I mean, maybe the other,
That they just made up.
huh?
That they just made up, right? I mean, it wasn't
Yeah.
a bigger group. It
No,
was, yeah.
it was made up.
Yeah.
And well, I think it says in that little.
Yeah. We'll take a picture of that later,
Okay.
okay? Because that would be good, yes.
Yeah.
So,
My father had businesses here, and my grandfather had
the buggy making, your
Yeah.
grandfather.
and I great. Yeah.
What about grandma and your mom? Did they work? What were they doing?
They were housewives.
Okay. Which was a lot of that.
That's what
Okay.
most women were.
We're at that time.
My Aunt Donna was a goer.
Was a goer.
Well, was a
She was an activist.
Yeah.
she would get involved, with things.
Now, you're talking about mom's sister?
That's her sister.
Okay. And who was mom's sister? You told me earlier it was Dagmar.
Dagmar Ella. And the brother was Ed Orloff. Now,
Okay.
you've heard his name.
Yeah.
And my cousin, of course, is Tom. And I have two other
You
cousins.
know, Tom
Karen
was
and
district
Linda.
attorney.
Yes.
And my grandmother and grandfather, Tom and Catherine.
Okay. And what did they do, Tom and Catherine?
Oh, Tom Orloff had the dairy here.
Right. Right.
And my grandmother was a housewife.
Okay. And the dairy was right in the middle of town
There's
now.
two dairies.
Yeah.
Well, he actually had three at one
Mm.
time. But the other one was out of town. I can't think of the name of it.
Okay. But the Orloffs live on,
Well, it was Hanson and
Yeah.
Orloff dairy,
and they live on St. Mary,
They lived on St. Mary.
and their dairy was close to where they lived.
Yeah, the one well, they had one on Black, and one on the street, the,
St. Mary's?
St. Mary's. Well, it goes into, what is it?
Oh,
Alley?
it goes into Hop Yard.
Hop Yard. And you'll have to excuse me, but my mind isn't as clear. as
Oh,
it
no,
used to
no,
be.
that's okay. That's
And
okay. We're asking you to remember way back, so, yeah.
and that was lovely. I can remember as a child, when I was about 4 years old, my mother used to take me out to that dairy, because there's there one in the winter,
Yeah.
Black Avenue had the red barns and stuff. The other one didn't. And I got to ride on a hay wagon. The driver or the worker was named Ed Lester. Nobody see.
You remember that, yeah, yeah.
And I had the two horses were Star and Queenie, big horses. And Queenie, I like Queenie because she was white.
Oh,
But we used to ride. I used to get on the hay wagon and I used to ride around the dairy with him, and he had to unload hay to the pigs and the stuff. But then he had to go up to Cottonshire because they have
oh, they had their other dairy up there?
no, they had cattle up in
Oh,
Cottonshire,
okay.
up there, and they needed to go up and feed them. So I got to ride on the hay wagon with my mother when I was 4, up to Cottonshire, up through Main Street, and turn right there, left, then right up to Spring.
Yeah.
And then up into Cottonshire, and then up beyond that
Okay.
to they had a place, not place, but they had cattle.
They
up
had
there.
cattle. Did you help, as you got older, did you work on the dairy at all?
Mm-mm.
Did you? Okay.
Mm-mm.
Did they have many employees?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, they had milkers, remember, they had milkers. And that was nice to hear. There was Swiss milkers. And some of them, I think, might still live here. And they had, they used to yodel when they milked the cows, and you could hear them in the barn. It was really, really nice. And then they used to ring the dinner bell for the help or the workers to come to eat.
And where would they eat?
That's a little farmhouse.
Okay, and who would cook for them?
We had
Dagmar.
no
Dagmar
Wolfenberger.
cooked
Her
for
name
them.
was Wolfenberger.
But Dagmar also cooked with them.
But that was later.
So I know Barb Wolfenberger, who would have
Yeah.
been her mom,
Her family.
her family.
Her. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I think she married into the family.
Yes, that's right. Barb would have married into the Wolfenbergers.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because I know Barbara.
Yeah.
And they used to ring that bell, and you could hear it down
Oh,
the road. It's nice.
yeah.
I,
So most of the workers were from Switzerland, do you think?
no, the milkers,
The milkers were from Switzerland.
and the others were from various places.
Okay.
And they had little houses or little places that they could live in.
Where were the houses?
There on the farm.
There in the farm. So,
But you could live out.
but your family and the Hansons merged their dairies. They worked together.
Yeah.
Okay. And
yeah.
and then they had these little houses for the milkers. And I know some of the milkers.
Not for the milkers particularly,
Oh.
for the workers.
Yeah.
The
Okay.
Becerro program from Mexico.
What?
Becerro program was very successful.
What
The
is the,
Mexicans would come from Mexico. They
okay,
would work and live in these houses, and they would send money back to Mexico, and then they would go back to Mexico. So every year, harvest time,
they would just come for
It was
that.
a fantastic program for everybody.
Becerro program.
Becerro program.
Becerro. And were they also helping with the hops at that time?
With the one?
The hops in the hops fields?
The hops in the hops field.
That was before.
that was
The hops were
before.
Okay,
That was
so this would have been any kind of work that your,
Sugar during World War
beets
II.
were big
oh, they had
time,
sugar
yes.
beets, okay,
And corn. Sugar
corn.
beets, corn. Yeah.
okay. And so the
Beets.
Becerros would come.
Sugar beets.
But I know some people came from, the Takens Dairy had people from Holland
Yeah.
as milkers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and where did they go? They did. No, I know of them.
The Takens?
Yeah,
Yeah, they own Meadowlark Dairy.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that was a dairy.
Yeah.
Dairy. They don't own that now, do they?
They do.
Oh, they still own it.
Patty and Bruce kind of sold it to their son, Jesse.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's been there a long time, the Meadowlark
Yeah.
Dairy.
Yeah.
It's very good. But my grandfather sold his milk to Golden State. Was it Golden State?
I thought he,
Huh?
I'm not sure, I thought he did more than one, but that's okay.
Okay. And then Grandma, so now we're talking about the Orloffs, and
Yeah.
Grandma Orloff, I believe you said that Grandma Orloff was one of the first graduates at
No,
No.
Diane's mother,
Diane's mother. Okay.
Grandma Elliott.
Yeah.
I mean,
They
Grandma
didn't have, when my mother and her sisters and that brother, my mother was the second group
Okay.
to graduate from Amador. George Hansen was, I think, in the first group.
And what was Mom's maiden name?
Who?
Your mom's maiden name?
Orloff.
Orloff. Okay. And so she then married an Elliott?
Yeah.
Sam Elliott? Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
My his mother's name was Whaling. My father's name was Whaling, and Elliott Whaling, and then Elliott, and they lived on First Street, where my dad was born. And then my mother died. My grandmother died when my father was 2 years old of tuberculosis.
Tuberculosis?
Yeah,
Quite a few, yeah.
yeah, tuberculosis, I think it was.
So what happened to your father?
Well, he went to live with my aunt, or his aunt, her sister,
Okay.
who lived on 2nd Street. And when my dad married my mother, they built their house next to where my aunt and
Oh,
uncle. There was a vacant lot, I assume.
okay.
It's hard to recall all of this, you know.
But your dad then was very close to his aunt. I was
What?
like his mom. Your dad was,
Never knew her.
oh, you never knew her.
He never knew her. He died when he
But-
was 2 years old.
Yes. But he got very close to your aunt then, and because she was like a mom to him.
Well, they never were quite that
Mm.
close, I don't think. He had an Aunt Emma that he was close to,
Okay.
but he was, you know, who was Aunt Minnie's sister,
Okay.
and because she had 2 boys, 2 nice boys. But it all, you know, it all worked out.
Yeah.
They're side by side there.
Good.
Well, my dad, well, I guess my dad and his mother and father and his father lived on First Street.
Yes.
The house is still there. And then when my grandmother died, he moved over to the 2nd Street to be with his grandmother.
Okay.
And his father, I guess, worked or something somehow. You know,
Okay.
I don't know the whole thing.
So, what about the war time? You know, you grew up, and then the Second World War happened. And do you remember any
Oh, of
things
course.
that you heard or what was going on?
Of course. I can remember how good Pleasanton was about the camp parks and that coming in here, and
USO.
I can remember my father was an air raid warden, and my mother was my mother was the air raid warden. My father was the warden that went around to check. I guess at one time a train was going through with German soldiers that had been captured, and they jumped bail, so to speak, and they had to go out and look for him. And my dad said they were so scared, those fellows.
The Germans
Yeah.
were so scared.
Yeah.
And they had jumped off near Pleasanton.
Yeah, I guess around Pleasant. I don't know how many people there
Yeah.
were, but I know he had to go out and look for him.
Okay.
Oh, he was an air raid warden,
Okay.
or whatever. My mother was a spotter, air raid spotter, up at
The fairgrounds.
fairgrounds.
So I've heard other people say that their moms did that.
I can remember going up there after school, and she'd be up there, and they had a case with drinks and stuff in it,
Okay.
and that's where I learned how much I liked the cream soda.
Oh.
The cream soda.
Those are the things that are important when you're a child,
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
My Aunt Dagmar started that USO.
And where was the USO?
It was at the Veterans Building.
Okay. And so she started having,
I have a picture with some of the women that were active. My mother was active. My other aunt was active. My their cousin was active. I mean, I knew the people. They were all Pleasanton people.
and so what did the USO do for the soldiers?
You know, don't you?
Yeah, but but I wanted you to tell our listening.
Well, they had socials for them, and when they came, they were nice to them and fed them and stuff like that. And my Aunt Dagmar met her husband there.
Oh, okay.
Well,
That's
actually,
what they did.
she'd been married before, but her husband had died up in the Aleutians. He was in the what do you call that?
Richard Marine.
Merchant Marines, and he had a heart attack or something. And that's when she came back down to Pleasanton.
Okay.
And she worked in the with my grandfather some at the farm.
At the dairy,
and stuff. I
okay.
mean,
Okay. And then
did you ever know? Did you know her?
no, I never met Dagmar, but I've heard about her.
So what did you hear?
Well, I've heard that she started the museum.
Yes.
She helped with that, but that she was kind of a taskmaster. I mean, she wanted things
sure
her way.
was.
Yeah.
but she was good at heart.
Was she? Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, she really was. I bet she met Uncle Hugh there.
Okay.
He was
So tell us where the first museum was.
where the first museum was. I don't know.
Oh, I mean at the fairgrounds, didn't they?
Oh. I don't know really anything about that.
Okay. But you knew more about when they turned.
When I was in 4-H, I knew when they had the fair, where we went and put our stuff that we had made and stuff in that big building.
Okay. But then the museum started at the fairgrounds, and then
Yeah, I can't remember where it was.
and then when they built the police station, they changed the building became available downtown. The building that is now the museum.
Oh, you probably know a little bit more about that.
Okay, and that's when Dagmar really helped set up the museum in there.
Mhm.
Yeah, and
She was a doer,
yeah, well she
but I know she stepped on people's toes.
yeah, that's what I've heard. Yeah, but sometimes if you're a doer, you have to.
Yeah.
Yeah, and did she get paid?
Not that I know of.
Okay.
Did you?
No.
No, she never got paid for anything.
She just volunteer at the museum.
Yeah.
But she was the person who ran the museum.
Yeah.
And
I mean, I never knew. All I knew is that she helped start the museum.
yeah. And then did she pass away? That she didn't do it any longer, or did she just kind of retire from that?
She had a stroke down there
Oh.
in a meeting.
Oh.
Was that where she
And
had
she
this?
died. She died in '96.
Okay, but she had a stroke, and that ended her relationship with.
Yeah, I thought it was at home, but
She was in a meeting at the museum, huh? Okay. So
he might know some of these things because he was around then.
oh yeah. So Lou knew a lot of that too. So did Dagmar start anything else? Did she do other things? You said the
she
USO,
started everything.
the museum, like what?
The family?
Oh, she was the head of the family.
No,
No.
my
Particular
grandfather
that-
was.
Okay.
She stirred things. She and I hit heads
Oh.
early on. And then I realized what a good person she was. And I wrote her a love letter. And then she and I bonded to the extent that she put me in charge of her trust and her end of life decision to be unplugged.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
This isn't about me. Diane always wanted children, and I think she should develop what she went through to have children, and how she developed during that time. And there's a painting in back that captured her at age 35, when she was very much involved in raising the children, very much involved in dancing at Castlewood and various other places. I mean, you're talking about the splits and all of that. And
Wow.
she did all of that. And that picture is of her on a runway, demonstrating clothing.
Yacht club, at the yacht club.
So you could have been on Dancing with the Stars. You could have won that.
Oh, she was a dancing lady.
Ah.
Well, we had a group that danced up at Castlewood, and we were called the Valley Rockettes.
Oh.
When we danced at Castlewood for a fundraiser.
Okay. Okay. Who else was in the group?
Well,
Was-
she
was-
probably wouldn't know
Okay.
them.
Was Bonanno's wife?
No,
There were others from Castlewood
No.
that were in there.
no. Yeah, there was. I know. Dorothy Massa. doctor's wife,
Bloom?
Bloom. Gary.
Okay.
Then there was a doctor's wife up in Livermore, I know, and a little girl. And they took us from, my cousin Carol was heading this up.
Okay.
Another relative, and she headed she was heading that up, and Carol Jean Huddleston. Have you ever heard of her?
No.
The dance teacher,
Okay.
in Livermore. She had a dance school, and she taught us
Okay.
how to do the can and stuff.
Oh.
I had taken dancing lessons from her before, but there's a gal from Sonoma. I'm sorry, I can't.
That's okay. That's okay.
it's-
But it sounds like fun.
And one
Like you
from,
guys had fun.
one from a girl from Dublin,
Okay.
or maybe two. And there was a couple from Livermore and a couple from Pleasanton.
Okay. But you would dance
We-
for
we
some
danced.
charity things.
We danced for a charity fund
Okay.
for the hospital. Was it for the hospital? I can't remember which, but we danced for it. And we were called the Valley Rockettes. And I mean, it never went any farther, really.
Yeah.
But prior to that, when other groups would have fundraisers, they'd ask us to come and they'd say, "Oh, the Valley Rockettes are going to be here," or something.
Oh.
Yeah.
Nice.
It was. Pleasanton is a caring town
Yeah.
during the war years.
Okay.
It really and truly was.
Okay.
And I'm thinking so fast here about what we took people into our homes, and my grandmother and grandfather had a big home, and they took people in to live with them, and
What kind of people? What in what circumstance? Why would the people come?
the husband of a sailor, or the wife
Of a sailor?
of the sailor with
Okay.
a child, and commodores, commanders' daughter came and stayed, I think, in that one room. And even after that, they kept in touch for a while. You know, of course,
Okay.
everybody's gone now.
Yeah.
But it was really, really nice.
Okay. But was it crazy downtown on the weekend sometimes with all the sailors?
With the sailors,
I'd heard from Phil Henry that sometimes it was fun to go downtown and just watch the fights and stuff happening downtown.
I don't
with all
remember
the-
that. I don't remember, but see, he was a boy and he could go downtown too.
Right.
You know, I know Phil.
Yeah, that was different in those days.
And
Because there were a lot of bars downtown.
yeah,
More bars per capita
Yeah.
than any town in the United States at once
Yeah.
because of the,
The camp parks and
because of the
Camp Shoebake. My dad went to.
horses.
oh, because of the rate.
There's a year-round training for horses.
Yeah.
And you think that's the reason why there were more bars?
Yeah.
Okay. They needed a place to go at night.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I lost track now what I was going to say.
Well, I think we were talking about Dagmar and that she helped with the USO and the museum.
Yeah.
But did she do anything with, I thought you said something about the hospital.
Oh yeah.
So what,
She helped get the hospital going. Was it the one in Livermore, honey? The new
At
one in
first.
Livermore?
At
And the
first,
one out here?
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Okay. And how did she help get that going? What did she do?
She helped raise money,
Okay.
and she was very active with the Republicans.
Okay.
And she knew wealthy people within the
got money
She was
to help with those kinds of.
you'd have to know her to love her. They don't understand what
I think so.
Daddy?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, because she could be outspoken.
Yeah.
She could tell you how she felt or what she thought was wrong.
Okay. And
But
your mom
she-
wasn't like that?
No.
Okay.
My mother was a very quiet housewife.
Okay. The Dagmar was the
She was
a mover.
She rode the horse and she worked down even at the dairy. You know,
Okay.
she was well, of course my Uncle Ed worked at worked at the dairy because of
Okay.
my grandfather.
Right.
And but Pleasanton was a good place to live. Now I don't know about the heydays that I read about all this stuff.
The heydays.
Heydays.
Yeah. I mean, what are you referring to?
Oh, they talk about the bandits and the stuff like that.
Oh, okay.
Joaquin Marietta.
Yeah. And you
Walking
never
around.
heard about any tunnels?
Oh no, I heard about the tunnel.
Oh, yeah.
But do you know if there are any? Were there any? Did you ever see
My
any?
understanding
Don't
is
tell her. Don't tell her.
My understanding is the tunnel ran from Main Street down there by the hotel
Yeah.
to the Concher
Uh-huh.
and Concher Ranch up there, Concher
Cuttinger Barn and
Barn. And it was the Asians, the Chinese. I think they actually were called, it was the Chinese
yeah, they were Chinese, yeah.
that went down and used it.
But you never saw a tunnel because we've never
No.
found any evidence that there's tunnels. When they've torn up the streets and, redid.
Have you?
Yeah, the city has never found any evidence. Yeah. So,
Well, I heard about it when I was young,
okay.
so I don't know. Unless
you'd
it was a big story.
Yeah. But you'd heard when you were young that the Chinese dug the tunnel or used the tunnel?
Use the panel.
Okay.
Use it.
And there was a Chinatown downtown at one point.
There was?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Where?
Across. Do you know? What can I even say is? Well, you know where the gas station is.
Which one?
The one downtown, the only one that's left.
Yeah, Amaral.
Yeah. Across the street. Not on that side of the street, but the other street.
Okay.
Across the street. Yeah, that was, there was a Chinese theater. That was kind of a Chinatown at one time in Pleasanton.
When was that?
You know what? I don't know for sure. But I think probably
Because it wasn't
before
when I was a
before
kid.
1935. Yeah. It was before that.
Well, I never heard of that.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Oh, we'll have to
Yeah.
find out a little more about that.
Yeah.
Because I don't remember my folks even talking about that.
Okay.
And my dad was,
Born, yeah.
born here.
But did they talk about, there was also an area that kind of the Mexicans lived.
Oh, yeah, that's, well, I know about that. There was a crossover near us. I mean, where we are now, over in that area.
By where you are, yeah.
Over on what side of Pleasanton,
I'm sorry. I didn't
where
hear
the
first part.
Mexicans.
Where the Mexicans lived at one time. There was kind of a Mexican community in Pleasanton.
Yeah, past the high school.
Oh, past Amador High School?
Yeah,
Okay.
I mean, they worked the farms.
where Tinga lived.
Rudy Tinga. Was it Rudy Tinga?
Yeah, those.
Somebody you went to school with,
Yeah.
I think.
Okay.
Oh, and then, you know, we had the Japanese
Yes,
that lived in Sonoma.
correct.
And when I was in senior in high school, they started the first ground trial, what do you call them? Grand
Grand jury.
grand jury. And now this was kind of just after the war. Well, it was after the war. And a boy from Sonoma, which was Japanese, he was voted as the head of the grand jury, as the jury leader, or whatever I can't remember.
Yeah, okay.
I can't remember his name, but there's still a group down there.
So, when the war started, do you remember the bombing at Pearl Harbor?
I remember hearing about it.
Hearing about it, yeah. So when the war started, I understand that many of those Japanese people left and were put in camps.
Yes.
Yeah. And
Yes.
that then some of them came back later after the war was over.
Into Sonoma.
Yeah. And weren't they?
Well, they may have even stayed in Sonoma. I don't know all that story. I
Okay.
can't tell you anything about
Yeah, I think Phil had told me that the kids were just taken out of school. One day they were there and the next
Yeah.
day they were
that.
gone.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah. You would have been young though, and you know.
Well, he and I are about the same age.
Yeah.
His mother and my mother were good friends.
Okay.
And I was thinking when I was a young girl, it was nice to go down to when you went to Pleasanton, people knew you and talked to you, said hello and that, and they knew your folks and they knew everybody, and you know, it was really nice.
Good.
Uh,
Did you know Jean Jones,
Jean Jones.
who lived on Neal? Her parents lived in the house before. Her grandparents lived there. Then
Jean.
I'm sorry, her grandparents and her parents, and then Jean. Jean,
Did she have a different name?
you know, I don't know her maiden name, but she had the house, you know, the big house on the corner of 3rd Street, the big Victorian,
Oh, on 3rd Street.
the big Victorian.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She lived in the house right next to that on Neal.
Oh, I knew.
Yeah, and she gave her house to the museum.
Oh, the old house that had to be redone.
Yes,
And there was a carriage house in back.
a barn, yeah. Yep, you're right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was hard to see the house when she lived there because
Yeah.
she had all the,
They
yeah,
fixed it up.
yeah. But I didn't know if you might know her. She probably would have been
She's
a little bit older than you.
But I know of her now.
Yeah.
Now that you, I know her.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and who her parents were, and you know, because your parents wouldn't have been living close to her. You know, her parents.
Well, actually, we would look close to her too now, if we were still living at Mirador Court.
right.
You know.
Yeah.
And well, we still live at Mirador Court because we haven't given it up,
Yeah.
and we haven't given up the house on 2nd Street either.
Oh, okay.
No, that's That's in trust
Okay,
for the family.
okay. So you rent it out now?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, good.
and we have apartments in town.
Yeah.
And we have some more houses, but they were houses that we bought later in life, Lou and I.
Okay.
And like I said, I met him in San Jose State.
Yes.
San Jose State, and then we got married, and then he got his jobs, like I said, and then we got a sailboat.
By the way, this year, our family gave a talk here about Diane's role in sailing, and the name of the talk is Romance of Sailing, and it's on YouTube now.
Oh, okay.
And you'll see.
Do you like to sail?
I'm sorry. I'm really sorry. I'm really,
I get the idea.
I'm really sorry.
I get the idea.
But
But I go every week.
Oh, do you still?
he races, but he races sailboats. And we own a sailboat, or we've owned sailboats.
Yeah.
We
We've
lived
even-
on them. She
yeah.
lived on them for 30 years, on and off.
On and off.
She loved it. When we had bigger boats, she'd put her foot in the porthole and grab the shrouds and swing on board like a pirate.
That's why I can't walk today. But
Diane, did you work in, or were you a housewife?
I was a housewife basically.
Okay, and you had how many
I
children?
had a broker's license.
Oh,
But I didn't really use it.
okay.
I worked with Lou. Well, I made some cookies and stuff when we had open houses and stuff.
Oh, so who was you were a realtor, Lou?
Broker, yeah.
For who
Broker.
who did you work
For
for?
Zevanove. I had my own.
Okay, all right. And after you retired from
No.
while you were working there?
It's
Yeah,
not me. I
so we
started
kind of
three
worked with him
Okay.
in that. With
So
that.
you worked
But
with-
We've always kind of worked together.
Oh yeah, well that's good. That's good.
Unusual company that we have an unlisted real estate number.
Oh.
So we had our own private, I had like 35 investors and so.
Oh,
she-
okay.
Yeah, she would help with the talks and so on. And that's how that went.
Okay. And you had children?
Yeah,
How many children do you have?
we have 2 boys and 6 grandchildren.
Okay. Okay.
Marky is the oldest, huh? I had the pleasure of being there when he was born.
Oh. Isn't that
Right where he came out.
Yeah. isn't that
Those
fun?
were the
After-
days.
Yes,
Those
after
were the
you
days.
had given birth to then see
Yeah.
someone else,
Yeah.
give birth, and to your first
So we have
grandson.
a special,
Special connection.
yeah, and
Mark says he's your favorite. Is that right?
no, I got 2 girls out of this whole thing too. Besides of the 6, I got 2 girls finally.
Ah.
Marky's the closest.
I
Okay.
have Marky. He's
very
Mark Elliott
involved
at
with taking
Zevanove,
care of
and
them.
then we have Morgan Lewis Zevanove, and we have Samantha Diane Zevanove. Diane.
All of the
And-
grandchildren
and,
have graduated from college. 3 have masters and 1's working on a PhD.
Wow.
And we have
Great.
So she throws good grandchildren.
Well, the other thing is that both of you graduated from college.
I
And-
didn't.
Oh, you didn't graduate.
He
okay.
did. I did. I
But-
got married.
Okay, but still to even go to college at that age.
Oh yeah.
That's true.
You know, a lot of women didn't at that time, and
Yeah.
even men, you know. So that was unusual. Yeah.
As soon as he got graduated, we got married, and I was
We
a
were
year
married in
or
college.
so behind it.
Okay.
Year behind.
Okay.
Something. So I was going to be a teacher.
Okay.
Well.
Well, you were involved in a lot of stuff too.
I was involved.
Yeah, you were involved in Eastern Star, and were you involved in anything else in Pleasanton? The dance groups.
Yeah, just a lot of things, and then a lot with the children.
Of course, yeah,
A lot with the children.
yeah.
And Lou, we had the boat, and he raced.
We
And
raced
I
every
raced.
weekend. She prepared the food for the crew and so on and so on. We made 2 TV commercials, and she was very instrumental in getting the crew
That was funny.
crew outfits and so on for that. So she was very much involved.
So, and you always race out on the bay?
I've raced to Tahiti, across the ocean.
Wow.
He did, I
She
did.
flew over and met me,
Okay.
but otherwise we've been national champions 3 times.
And were your sons involved?
Yes,
Oh, yeah.
and the crew members were people from Pleasanton.
Like
They're-
who?
Their friends and so on.
Oh, okay. So you taught a lot of people about sailing. And what was the sailing bug?
Well, that's covered in the talk, in that Diane and I would go to Santa Cruz. We'd drive out on the wharf, and here were these bobbing boats out there, these sailboats. I knew absolutely nothing about sailboats, but I said, that's just fantastic. That's romantic.
Ah,
And that's why romance of sailing really started back then.
okay.
Diane was very open to our getting sailboats, to the extent that there were things on the house that we needed, like a bathroom that failed. For 4 or 5 years, we didn't get it fixed, but we bought a boat. Now,
And Diane let you do that.
absolutely, and that's important. How
Okay.
many wives would do that?
How many wives would do that? Yes.
Yeah.
A lot of them would want the bathroom fixed first.
That's right.
But you must have had a sense of adventure then in you.
Well,
She wanted to
I like to
support.
travel.
Oh,
I've done quite a bit of traveling with him and with my girlfriends.
okay.
And
She didn't enjoy risking her life. Whereas there's no adventure without risking her life.
Ah.
well, I risked my life plenty of times on that boat.
I know, but you didn't like it. I said you didn't like it.
No,
You-
nobody would.
You would cry. And,
Oh.
I didn't cry. I just didn't like
but
it.
she was there. I mean, that's it.
Helped with the,
Clean the bottom.
yeah, oh yeah.
Yeah.
It just, we've had a good life. We've had a very good life
Good.
together. And we've had good children,
Good.
very good children. I've got cookies over there and apple cider.
Okay. Well, is there anything else that you would like to talk about before we?
I don't know, let's see. There probably is 10,000 things I could talk about.
Anything more about Dagmar in the museum? Did you help her set up anything there? Did you?
No,
Okay.
she was the boss.
Yeah.
Talked a little bit about Amador Grandma. Did you mention there was someone you knew?
What? I can't hear you, son. Remember, I've got.
I know. I'm sorry. There was someone you knew from high school years that was related to like some celebrity.
Oh, yeah. That's all right. Lou's got the boat first, and then I'll tell her.
Okay. Who did you know that?
Her name was Janet Frager. The
Yeah.
Fragers
Tom
are
Hanks
still
is-
around here. Don't you know that?
No, I don't know that.
Fragers. They're Portuguese. Janet Frager married someone from Concord or something.
Okay.
And she has a son that is extremely popular,
Oh, Tom Hanks?
Tom Hanks.
Oh, wow. I didn't know. So she's still around here?
She died.
Oh, she died. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh.
You guessed that? Did you guess that or did you know it?
No, I guessed it. Yeah. Oh, that's too bad because it would have been interesting.
Well, when I said Concord, yeah.
Oh, Concord. Yes, when you said Concord, I thought Tom because I know he grew up in Concord.
Yeah.
It'd be interesting to talk to her about her son. Yeah, I really like.
Well,
Tom
she's
Hanks.
got family still here.
Mm.
Fragers are still here. There's a building that is a apartment building right near the railroad tracks in St. Mary Street
Yes.
that used to be the Portuguese Hall,
Yes.
the IDS Hall. My father and a group of young fellas here bought that building and made it into the apartments and that,
Okay.
and the Queen's house. And
Ah.
the Queen's place. And they sold it a while back, of course. So, but they were very active. Some of these fellas, the Jerners and Amaral and
So were they more of an investment group, or were they more of a group?
friends.
They were just friends. Did they?
As far as I know, they were friends.
Okay, but I mean,
I would know nothing else but
Okay.
friends.
okay.
I mean, I guess they considered they got together and invested their money together,
Yeah.
but that's it.
Do you know?
Your father used to take you to the theater in town. There was a theater.
Yes.
There were two theaters.
Yes.
There was a drive-in theater.
Yes.
I took her to the drive-in theater.
Ah.
That was later.
Okay. And there was the theater downtown that's now the
Yes.
Wine Steward.
That's right.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And
That was the original. And then there was another theater in town,
yes.
when the war came.
Okay. And what about? Did you know John Amaral?
Oh, yeah.
Tell me about him. No one's really talked about him.
Well, he was, you mean the man or the boy?
The father,
John Amaral.
or maybe who owned who was a realtor? Was that your
Yeah.
dad's friend?
Yeah.
Okay. What was he like?
I didn't know him. Well, what was the mama's name? John, and I knew all these people.
I know you did.
I knew him by name.
George Spiliotopoulos.
You knew George?
I was there when he got killed.
Oh. You were at the hotel?
Pleasanton Hotel.
Oh.
And he walked out between the cars.
And he was a very famous name in Pleasanton.
Right.
And he was really a character, but a fun character, from what I understand.
Sure.
Why? What would you say, Lou?
You're right.
Okay. But he, walked across the street.
Well, he was younger than us. He
And
was
it was
the same
raining.
age as my cousin Karen.
Okay.
He walked out between two cars and they didn't see him.
Okay. Okay. Yeah.
That was a Pleasanton Hotel.
I was not sitting with him. I was in a business meeting. But I just looked out there in time to hear the action.
That was too bad.
Yeah.
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 And so who in Pleasanton, the two of you, who were your people that you admired in Pleasanton over the years?
Gene Pons, Gene.
Jane Pons is a wonderful man.
Yeah. Well,
We started with Heritage Bank, it was
yeah.
Cox. Last name is Cox.
Huh?
Cox.
Cox.
At Heritage Bank.
And I was trying to think.
Reverend Allender. Have you heard that name?
Well,
No.
no.
And
he was-
Bill Allender, you went to school with Bill Allender.
Yeah, but he's
And he
dead.
married
He
us.
died in a long.
Well, he died after he married us.
Oh.
Bill passed away too, but they moved away. She's talking about people here in Pleasanton. Now, I assume.
Well, or any time. No,
Oh.
if they passed away,
He was
that's okay.
And
I
married
just,
to a Pleasanton girl,
just,
Betty. Remember Betty?
Well, certainly I knew her, Betty McMahon.
Yeah.
I was their attendant. Why would I forget that?
Right. But I mean, there's a long, you knew all the people in Pleasanton and their shoe size.
I think I thought you meant who stood out in Pleasanton as someone special, like
Yeah.
the mayor or somebody like
yeah.
that.
Over your years in Pleasanton, both of you.
My grandfather, he
Okay.
was mayor of Pleasanton,
Okay. Mr. Orloff.
Mr. Orla.
Okay.
I mean,
Yeah.
Two
Who,
Orloffs.
yeah. Who has been?
The senior, and then there's Ed Orloff.
Okay.
At three, there's Tom Orloff.
So,
Tom Orloff was the district attorney.
yeah. So Grandpa's name was
Tom Orloff
Tom Orloff too. Okay. So Tom Orloff.
was mayor for four years. He was mayor during the war years.
Okay. Okay.
He always said it was very hard when he had to send a boy from Pleasanton
Oh, to
because he
war.
knew him.
Yeah.
And when it came, our boy that came back, I can't think of the name.
Just
of
one
the-
boy. Yeah. I know we have something at the museum about. But I forget
He's
his name.
buried up at Cottinger.
Yeah.
You didn't mention that Ella. Shot.
Yeah,
Actually, no, you had multiple aunts.
yeah, I did. I said that.
Orloffs.
Ella. Yeah, I had Ella, Dagmar,
Lived there on
and Uncle
St.
Ed,
Mary's.
and my mother, but she wasn't an aunt.
But Dagmar stands out for you as doing things for Pleasanton and you know.
But my Aunt Ella was a quiet lady. She was a school teacher, a very good school teacher.
Okay.
And she taught in Livermore, and she was creative in that. She married a Valponi. Have you heard of the Valponis from Livermore?
No.
Oh. And, but then when my grandfather died, she and her husband moved down to be near them.
To be near Grandma Orloff.
Yeah, they
On the
moved.
house that's being
I think
reworked
they
there
might
in
have
St.
moved down
Mary's.
earlier than that. They might have moved down earlier than that.
Okay. In the house that's being worked on right now.
Mhm.
Okay.
That who's in?
There's a house on.
Being extensively rehabbed.
Yeah.
I can't hear you, honey. I'm sorry.
Um,
What did you say?
The house is being extensively rehabbed. It was the family Orloff home. When I came to the family, that's where they lived.
Oh, but prior to that, they lived across the street in a house across the street, which would, was that kind of division
Oh.
area. And they moved here. But Aunt Amy and Uncle Ed lived in that brick house.
Okay.
You know that brick house that's
Yeah.
right there on the corner?
Yep.
That was my Uncle Ed's house. Now, my Uncle Ed was on the city council here.
Okay. Ed Orloff.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Mike Carey.
Yes.
You know, that was at Ella's house.
Okay.
And, but I had a lot of wonderful memories of Pleasanton.
Yeah.
I mean, real lovely memories.
Okay.
I don't know what Phil and those said. Maybe I could fill in some of the things they
Yeah.
said.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I can remember marching down the street for various things, you know. And I was on 4-H, and like I said, 4-H, and I was in girls' athletic in high school, and I'm trying to think.
What relative of ours, someone,
What?
you know that mop group that wears the tubes and the parade?
Oh, the yes, the balloon
Yeah.
platoon.
Yeah, they're-
Clowns?
Yeah, they're kind of like clowns. They're
Mhm.
trying to mimic
The Presbyterian Church started that. Yeah.
Well, I was active in a church. I was a little girl that jumped out of the pie at Christmas time at the church service.
Oh.
You know,
But I thought, Grandma, you were telling me
story.
once about someone you knew in that group.
In the balloon platoon.
Yeah, or a relative or something.
Did you know Ed Kinney?
Kenny. I didn't really know him,
Okay.
but I know he was very active.
Yeah.
Of course, my Aunt Dagmar must have known him.
Yeah.
And after I met Lou, things changed a lot.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, there's so much I could tell you about Pleasanton that I know and feel, that I feel. It's and one thing, when Lou and I decided that we were going to not give up, we still own our house on Mirador Court.
Yes.
And we still use it. He has an office there, and this one lives there, and we didn't want to give it up. And when we decided that we were getting old and that we needed just a little different lifestyle, let's put it that way. And we went around and looked at some of these places, these retirement centers and retirement stuff. And there was one there in Livermore that I can't think of.
Heritage Estates.
Yeah, probably. And but a friend of ours brought us here. They were just building up and everything, and they had the apartments, and I wanted a 2-bedroom, 2-bath, and but we went around and looked here, and we went into Barbara Hempel's
Oh, I knew Barb. Yeah.
Yeah. place. Barbara had us in, and we ate. We had dinners here several times, but we signed up right away, and then
But you couldn't get in.
We couldn't
Right
get
now,
in,
the waiting
right.
list is 200.
they were building.
It's 200.
200
names?
people are on the waiting list to get in there.
Oh, wow.
We couldn't get in, and we couldn't get in, and then we came one day to just, I don't know, check on something at the office there. And there was a white tag off of this place, which was
Somebody dropped out.
somebody dropped out, which is a garden terrace apartment, which is has a little more oomph to it
Okay.
than the 1-bedrooms we were gonna buy, and keep the other place liveaboards, you know. And so I said to Lou, poor Lou, he didn't have a chance. Did you, honey? I said,
I think you were right. In
Put your name on that. We put our name on that right away.
Good.
We want it.
Good.
I mean, we didn't know what we
We
were.
already had a deposit, but what you go through periods
Yeah.
of increase.
We had to put
Yeah.
a little more deposit in.
A lot more deposit.
Yeah, to get this one compared to the.
Well, this is very nice. It's a nice place in Pleasanton to live in. And then you get to age in place and you get to be by your family and in the town that you grew up in, you know, so that's
exactly
lovely.
right.
Well, this is
She
what I said.
And we had looked at others, she says, this is in Pleasanton, this is where we're going.
Yeah, yeah.
I couldn't help it.
No, I know he got the boat, the decision on the boat, and you got the decision on where you'd live.
It's
Yeah,
it's a great town.
yeah,
She's
Now,
right.
it's had its problems lately.
Well,
I know that.
We
yeah,
don't need to get into their problems.
yeah.
No, I stay out of it all. But it sure makes me sick when I read the paper.
About
All this business is going on.
the crime or the,
Crime.
Yeah.
The crime.
yeah,
We live in a bubble here.
yeah,
Pleasanton's a bubble, and this is a bubble inside the bubble.
right, right.
And yet it's a large bubble. We have like 40 acres here, which is unusual for a continuous care residential facility.
Yeah,
Usually they're much smaller, like
Yeah.
Heritage.
Have you ever been here before?
yes. And I've gone to the meals here and
What?
I've gone to meals here.
Oh, well,
Seen
then
the
you know.
theater and all. Yeah, it's a lovely
Yeah.
place.
It is.
Yeah.
yeah,
And people are very nice.
good.
Well, I think they're nice. Because they've been very nice to me.
Good.
Because I can't get around like
Yeah.
I used to.
Yeah.
You know. But where do you live?
We live in Pleasanton too. But why don't we end the conversation
Okay.
here, or our taping, okay?
Yeah.
And so thank you very much.
Yeah.
And especially with the information about Dagmar, because of course with the museum, we talk about Dagmar and we're appreciative of what she did. Yes,
She really had a good heart.
she did.
She really did.
And she didn't have any,
I mean, she spoke her mind.
Yeah.
You have to realize that
yeah,
if you knew her. But she really had a good heart.
yeah,
And she helped people that
okay.
people don't know that she helped. You know, that
Financially, she would help people and stuff,
That
or
too.
other ways.
That too.
Okay.
But with their own time.
Okay, and not always, yeah, and people didn't always know that. Oh, and before we go, Michael, I would like you to get some of the pictures of the sailboat and the newspaper article
Picture
and some of those.
of Diane
Okay, yes, so,
in her prime.
okay, so,
Oh, Marky,
Yeah.
give her that.
There's also an album.
Not that. Yeah.
No, but there's a few pictures in there.
okay,
Yeah.
all right, well, we'll look at
Oh,
that
here.
and,
That is my history.
okay, okay,
So if you wanted,
I'd love to look at it. So thank you very much. It's been very,
Thank you. And your name again?
Rebecca.
Oh, I should know
Rebecca,
that.
Sunnybrook Farm, remember?
Well, I can't forget that. My other caregiver is Rebecca.
Oh, that's right.
She
that's
was
right.
just here.
Yes. So thank you very much.
And she'll be back.
Okay.
You might even meet her.